Good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you to AspireX, the Industry Readiness Panel discussion, brought to you by ICT Academy of Kerala.
The theme for today's session is Inspiring Growth and Transformation. And we are delighted to have with us a distinguished panel of industry leaders, our vibrant ICTAK learners, and our proud alumni.
We assure you an enriching evening filled with insights, inspiration, and interaction. Let's get started.
To begin the proceedings, I invite Ms. Roshni R., full stack participant, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Gopika. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to AspireX, the Industry Readiness Panel discussion organized by ICT Academy of Kerala. The theme for today, Inspiring Growth and Transformation, truly reflects the journey of our learners and the vision of ICTAK in shaping careers for the future. On behalf of ICTAK, I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed keynote speaker, Mr. Muraleedharan Manningal, CEO of ICTAK. We are deeply honored by your presence. I also take this opportunity to warmly welcome our distinguished panelists, Mr. Pattabiraman MB, founder and CEO of Pat for Leaders, Ms. Surya Rani, manager L&D HR at Innoval, Mr. Binish Moulana, director Site Reliability Engineering at Finastra. Your insights and experience will surely guide and inspire us today. A special welcome to our alumni who have made us proud with their career achievements and to all the ICTAC participants and guests who are with us this afternoon. We look forward to an enriching session filled with knowledge sharing, discussion, and inspiration. Once again, I extended my heartfelt welcome to each one of you. Thank you, and let us begin this exciting journey together.
Thank you, Roshni, for that warm welcome and setting the right tone for today's event.
It's now time to hear from the driving force behind ICTAK, a leader who has been inspiring growth and transformation every step of the way.
We are privileged to have with us Mr. Muraleedharan Manningal, CEO of ICTAK, to deliver the keynote address.
Good afternoon, everyone. And we have a wonderful set of panelists. I mean, they are really coming from. I mean, when I heard the name Binish, I mean, I was not able to correlate the name in the face. Now I could. Okay. In fact, we have a wonderful set of panelists, and we are doing this program. Just to give a context, I'm sure that we would have briefly touched upon. We have been doing this program almost a year now. Every month we have an interaction where we give an opportunity for the learners, the aspiring budding professionals, to connect with industry leaders to understand, or how to navigate in the potential career. Okay, so what kind of questions? I'm sure that they'll be having a lot of questions. Okay, and the idea is, we get people from diverse background, both technology, HR, consulting, management, or various streams. Okay, so that they will get an idea about, what are things, what are the opportunities they see it in the market or see it in the vertical organizations, and how do they prepare better when they are going towards the interview or when they are starting their career. Okay, so that kind of engagement, and more from your experience. I'm sure that that will be an enriching learning for all of us. Okay, because we have a eminent set of panelists today. We have Patabi coming with consulting and entrepreneurial experience, and we have Surya. So Surya sir coming with HR L&D experience, and we have a technology expertise. Binish is coming with technology expertise. It's the right mix of the experts in our today's panel, and I'm sure that this kind of interactions will help you in getting to know about what do each one of them expect. So, for example, if you are getting into the interview track, probably the technology side or the HR side, how do you article prepare yourself better in the before the interview, during the interview, or when you get into the organization, how you can steer or navigate your career better? Those kind of interactions, questions you can clarify with the experts. Likewise, we have a set of vertical students. They come with a diverse background. We do programs, long-term programs, primarily touching upon pretty much all the technologies. So we have students from how many of you are from FSD, full stack development? Okay, how many are from data science? AI, ML, data science. Okay, I think cybersecurity. Okay, I think these are the major groups we have it. I mean, they are they undergoing about 4 months programs. So the idea is, I mean, they get to know about the deeper understanding of the respective areas and equipping them towards, I mean, the entry level roles, or I mean the jobs what they have in the market, be it a full stack developer, development engineer, or cybersecurity analyst, or be it, I mean, data science analyst. Okay, those kind of various roles pertaining to these domains. That's what, I mean, we are doing it. And as part of this engagement, apart from what you call the monthly connection, I'm sure that they get an opportunity to, one, learn from our trainers, and we get an opportunity to interact with some of the industry experts who come and deliver masterclass in between as well. The origin of ICT Academy, as all of you are not probably new to you, is that, I mean, no, this organization has been established with a view of bridging the skill gap. When we are going to the campus, so we are learning mostly what you call the syntax, semantics. I mean, we are clearing exams. We look over to the certifications, but that is getting significantly changed now with the new educational policy or the FIUG program, the flexibility what is being offered as part of the new curriculum. So each student has an option to take the subjects of his or her choice. Okay, say suppose if you are a math major student or math BSc math student, and if you are interested in arts, okay, if you're interested in music, you can take music as a subject and you can get the credit. Okay, that kind of flexibility is enabled through the current curriculum. So likewise, I mean, if you are doing medical engineering and if you want to pursue something on not purely related to major, still you can pursue that. Those who are taken civil engineering, some organization they look at, hey, I don't want to take come in civil engineering, mechanical engineering. I want only the computer science engineering. Here they have an option to take computer subjects as a major, and you can have a minor on that computers as well. Okay, those options are enabled as we speak in the various universities, and we work with various universities, I mean, in creditizing some of the skill oriented programs and embed it as part of the curriculum. Okay, probably some of your the juniors, they will get an opportunity to learn those courses as part of their curriculum what is offered by ICT Academy, and they will get the credit along with that. I mean, they'll get the orientation towards the skill oriented programs as part of their curriculum. Okay, so I think that's the kind of changes happening as we speak, and we know that the technology is changing every day. Okay, the roles are evolving, emerging, and disappearing. It, but I think certain things or certain skills are still very relevant. Okay, I think that the learnability of every individual still matters a lot. Okay, so our the basic traits, I mean, the attitude, the communication skills, the problem solving skills, I'm sure that that will be looked upon from each of the candidate, because that helps you in one learning and strengthening your positioning as a candidate, the right candidate for any position, any opportunity. Okay, so as part of our your programs, I'm sure that, I mean, you'll be getting orientation towards the various actual real life scenarios, the problems they'll be discussing about that. Okay, the but when we speak all these technologies, we are getting a lot of I would say aids or support from ChatGPT or OpenAI or a lot of automated tools, correct? So but it's important to know that, so it's important to know the fundamentals. Okay, you can get the answers using all this ChatGPT, Google, or Gemini, or any of those stuff. Okay, but it's important to know the fundamentals. You can make all those mistakes when you are learning it, and if you know the fundamentals, then using this technology as an augmented tool to enhance your productivity will make you as the best smart professional. But if you don't know fundamentals, you don't know what to use and how to use and when to use. Okay, so it's important to know the fundamentals. So that's something you need to practice and do it by. There is no shortcut. We need to learn by doing it. Okay, I think that is the emphasis of our programs, and these programs, I'm sure that will help in getting and meeting or achieving your aspirations in the coming months and years, and help you in achieving your dreams in the coming years. So wishing you all the good luck, and thank you for to the panelists, and once again, I mean, it's indeed our pleasure to have you, such an eminent panelist, to share your experience and interact with our learners. Looking forward to the wonderful interactions, and once again, enjoy the sessions and have a great time. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for those valuable insights and for inspiring us to strive for excellence.
The highlight of AspireX is, of course, the industry readiness panel discussion.
We are honored to welcome our esteemed panelist, Mr. Pattabiraman MP, founder and CEO, Path for Leaders. Mr. Pattabi is highly experienced and has been heading the human resources in IT, ITES, and financial services domains, highly skilled in leadership coaching, compensation and benefits, talent management and engagement, OD and change management, training delivery, strength-based training and coaching. He is a well-networked HR professional, adept at building trust-based relationships across organization levels. We welcome you, sir. Ms. Surya Rani, Manager, L&D HR at Innoval. Ms. Surya comes with 20 years plus extensive exposure in learning and development and enable all kinds of learning for business to tick without a hitch. A few to mention are ERP, cloud, consulting. Ms. Surya keeps connecting with experts within and outside the organization, identifying areas to upskill, providing a platform for passionate colleagues to facilitate, coach, and mentor in their areas of expertise. Ms. Surya is also an active member of the WIIT, a forum dedicated to transforming the lives of women in IT. We welcome you, ma'am. Mr. Binish Moulana, Director, Site Reliability Engineering, Finastra. Mr. Binish is an accomplished technology leader with over 22 years of experience driving modernization, operational excellence, and enterprise scale reliability across high trust domains like BFSI, FinTech, and other multi-vertical enterprise platforms. He has proven expertise in SRE, DevOps, application delivery, cloud architecture, and innovation. He has won multiple innovation awards and championed inclusivity and mentorship programs. Mr. Binish is currently on an AI-based automation and AI ethics journey. We welcome you, sir.
Together, they bring a wealth of experience and perspectives. Leading this insightful conversation is our moderator, Mr. Harish Rajendran, Senior Knowledge Officer of ICTAK, who will guide the discussion.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's sit back, listen, and engage in this powerful session.
Hi, welcome everyone. So, we have heard the introduction for our esteemed panelists, and also our CEO had talked about ICT Academy and the participants that we have in front of us. They're a mix of various technologies like full stack development, MLA, and cybersecurity. So, without further ado, I think we can start, but let's first have introductions from your side regarding your organization, current role, and how you came to connect with ICT Academy of Kerala.
So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor to be here amidst you. Thanks to Mr. Murali and also to Ms. Rekha for having me here. A quick intro about myself. I come with little over 20 years of experience in HR. Had an opportunity to work with IT, ITES, banking, credit research and consulting organizations. So my last stint was with McKinsey as head of HR for the India region. So in terms of what I have been doing for the last 4 years after I quit from the corporate life, my company Path for Leaders, we specialize in providing leadership training and coaching along with HR training for the HR teams. So what brought me to ICT? I think through friends we got to know about great work that ICT has been doing, and I also came for a session here with the HR Evolve. That's when we thought, let me also try to be here for some time to support all the initiatives we are doing. And thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thank you, Pattabi. Thank you. So now, over to Surya.
First of all, thanks to all of you for having me here. So I'm Surya Rani. I'm part of Innoval Digital Solutions, and I'm part of the HR team. So handling or managing learning and development. I also have a technology background. I was in the technology side or the technical role for nearly 9 years. Then I switched to HR, but again transitioning and carrying my experience from the technology to the learning and development. And also I represent WIT. It is a non-profit NGO. It is especially
I wouldn't say empowering women, but enabling women when they are stuck in different stages of career. So again, that is based out of Technopark. And then talking about ICT, and before that, my organization, Innoval, or in short, IVL, is completing nearly 3 decades. So we were the first one to bring SAP into India, and we had different management changes, and now it is known as Innoval. And we have especially products that run on SAP. And I'm not sure how many of you are aware about ERP and SAP. It's generally very hidden, not very fancy kind of a technology, but a very strong profile. So that's about Innoval. And then coming to ICT, I would say there are multiple connects we have with ICT. First of all, let me tell you, we have had recruitments from ICT trained members, especially on the Node.js side, and they're superb resources. They're still with us, and they're doing a really great job. That is a great opportunity for us. And again, we have had multiple sessions by Sir on cybersecurity. Otherwise, we are engaged with different training activities also. Again, from the WIT side, I remember in 2020 when we launched the first the Accelerated Leadership Program for Women. ICT was the first organization to launch us. So we had a webinar conducted through which we were able to enable many women get back to career through the training programs. Yeah, thanks to ICT for this, and thanks. Looking forward for a great learning from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, myself Binish Moulana. I completed my engineering soon after and started with programming. So with programming, I thought my expertise would lie in people management or liaising with the customers. So I switched over to a functional role, left my programming in say probably 4 or 5 years, being very implementation oriented kind of a role, and that took me from a project manager to a delivery manager. At one point, I realized that the technology background is something which really helps us in the long run. Switch back when cloud came, because it was a green field. Where you are entering right now, you are getting into an AI field. So I started along with the remaining freshers when cloud was launched. So that took a complete new spin in my career, taking me from a delivery manager or delivery head, from being a complete technocrat in a functional plus techno-functional role. So that brought me back into technology. From there, it has been no stopping, a lot of innovation stuff's done, because when the technology is new, catch it. That's something that I learned. And that has been the kind of journey. And finally, at Finastra, it's my 8th year. Never ever has been a company seen me more than 3 years. But when you get to play with technology and you know the nuances of it, that's what Murali sir was talking you about, know the basics. So that has been my learning, and that's what brought me and made me sit here, made me sit amongst you. Thank you, ICT, for that. It's my first stint with ICT. Looking forward to a lot more to come in the future. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Binish. Thank you all of you for the wonderful introductions. So this is the 8th edition of AspireX, if I'm not wrong, and we usually focus on industrial readiness for our participants. And this time our topic would be, this segment would be regarding opportunities and trends in the evolving IT landscape, because it is evolving very fastly, if you agree with me. So I think let us start with HR and leadership lens. So how leadership roles are evolving in today's fast-moving digital era?
I think it's a very important question, yet a very complex question, I would say. I'll give you some statistics here. What has been assessed is that the pace at which the technology is growing these days, they compare it like this. 5 years of technology advancement now equates to 15 years of technology advancement some 10 years back. So what that means is we are running at a 3x speed. Now, if we need to run at 3x speed, the skill development, the decisions, the way how leadership approach a situation, puts up a strategy, everything needs to move at a 3x speed, right? So this is one big difference that we see in recent times because of the way the technology has impacted. Second thing, earlier technology impact would be restricted to few industries where IT, ITS or banking. But today we see AI being adopted across the board. For example, someone like a British Petroleum, for example, they are one of the first to implement AI extensively into their logistics, supply chain, even to manage their temperatures in the oil rigs. Now, the absorption of technology is so much, which also means any leadership role needs to definitely make some decisions on technology and they don't have a choice. So these are two critical things that we see as a delta, the new things because of AI coming in and how the landscape is changing. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Now moving on to Surya, I think we can talk about from the L&D lens, how we can look at this, the new opportunities in enterprise learning systems, ecosystems like SAP, cloud, etc. If you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, sure. To start with, I would like to see how many of you have heard about SAP before, or in short, you say SAP. Can you raise your hands?
There
Can
are
you raise
some
it
hands.
high?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it is hardly it's single digit. That's the challenge we have when we look for talents. Okay. So, but you see, hope you understand what is enterprise. It's a big businesses that run. But how do they run? Day in, day out, we are using different brands. We are connected with different brands. So when the business grows, no, it doesn't stay in book and paper or small softwares. You look for ERP softwares. So one such is SAP. And I would say SAP can accommodate different career profiles. Now, if you are a hardcore technology person, so we have, when I say we, I'm talking about SAP and ERP in general. So there is a technology space which accommodates cloud, programming side, like just like you say, no Java, Python. In SAP, there is something called ABAP. So that is a programming side. And no, there are different functional areas. Suppose you are a good consultant, you love to speak, you love to convince people. So in that case, there are consultant roles. So in ERP, once you get into, especially in a profile like SAP as a programming side or an ABAP consultant, in 2 years' time, you see the big picture of SAP. And then you move as a techno-functional role. There are people who get into as, the core architects. So again, technology, if you are into people management, you get into the, the managerial position. So that's what I'm telling that ERP or SAP can accommodate people in different profiles. So what is trending in the sense, I would say, you need to read, you need to be part of different communities. I think majority of you will have the LinkedIn IDs. All of you would be part of LinkedIn. No, please read the post, follow the technology side. If you're focusing on that side to understand what is more trending. And as I mentioned, the enterprise side, no, it's kind of very hidden. So it's more, if you more explore more, it's a very strong profile. And it's nothing like you have, no, generally it's a trend that you join an organization. No, as soon as you complete your minimum period, no, it's the next, no, it's trending to jump. If you don't jump, your peers will be asking, you're still in the same organization. So please understand when you are approaching any job opportunities also, people look at your profile, they look and see how many years you have stayed with an organization, what technology you're strong in. Okay, so I would say please be part of more of networks to understand what is more trending, what is demanding, and what will stay. Evolution is always happening, but again, if you talk about ERP, the core structure still remains the same. Only thing, cloud and new things are coming in. Yeah, and I think I have one more part, WIT.
I think we can rotate and come back. But
Sure.
before we move, would you suggest any starting points for how to connect with these communities that you mentioned?
Yeah, see, if I talk about LinkedIn, if you search for SAP groups, you will find different. That too, the technology side as well as the functional. If somebody is interested for finance, if you are from a commerce background or if you have an inclination towards numbers, so there is something called SAP FICO. So SAP FICO, there are many communities on that. So especially people from commerce background, I'm not sure if people are here, Or have you heard about SAP FICO anytime? Because it's one of the costliest consultants, I would say, as the name says, FICO. And people who are from mechanical background, there is something called SAP MM, and operations, logistics, there are different areas. So you can search on LinkedIn itself, just tag it as SAP, I would say you will get most of the ERP communities.
Thank you, Surya. Now let us move on to the technology and reliability lens from Binish. The question that I would put to you would be the shifts in enterprise scale roles from traditional IT ops to AI-driven automation that we have today, and also regarding ethical leadership, AI stewardship.
Thank you. So, Melissa, with your permission, we saw only two hands coming up with the ask of a SAP. How many of you know that Google has let go of their entire Python DL team, ML team? Have you read? Have you come across that news? Google, how many of you know about the Nano Banana? Show of hands, please. I need it to be shown. No worries, go ahead. Everyone knows Nano Banana, but do you know what is happening with Google's data scientist? Do you know? How many data science people here? I think there I saw a couple of hands. Now the point is, I'm not trying to pin you down. Point is, keep up with the trend. Keep your news track, the kind of jobs that you're trying to follow, keep a track on what is happening in the market. Because that is when your learning will make yourself capable for the next role that is available. So the question that came to me was, what is the IT ops piece and how AI ops is working there? How many of you know that Technopark started and the maximum number of people we engaged was in IT ops or BPOs? Have you heard about BPOs? Business process outsourcing, call centers, right? Now, how many call centers are there in Technopark? How many people in Bangalore are working in night shift, are catering to the BPO industry? That is where India used to have the largest openings and the largest number of people used to get in. You see, there is a downtrend, right? Because technology is replacing jobs, but it is also at the same time creating new ones. One of that, how many of you know about CCNA? Is there a rush right now? How many of you have even thought about giving a CCNA, CCIP kind of certification? Back in the 2000s, that was what was trending. Everyone used to go for CCNA certification because it was a assured job. Now, why was that? Because people used to get employed in an IT ops company. If there is a network problem, call these people. And why would they call them? Because they have CCNA certified. Because all your routers, they're Cisco, all your F5s and all your, say, network topology, no one knew. But now the systems know what it is. The systems know when I say I need 192.168.x.x 24 sub, it automatically creates it for me. That is what we're talking about AI ops. AI takes your operations. I'll give you a very small example, which our company, our team has done. A typical SEV1 incident, there is a production outage. When I say a production outage, it is a live system like your Amazon or your Flipkart goes down, right? And you're not able to place orders, or your banking application goes down, right? You're not able to make a Google Pay. That point, hell is let loose and people are completely out. That is what is driving firefighting within the industry to resolve it. A typical SEV1 on a banking industry cannot go beyond 4 hours. But the studies show it goes to a 5-6 hours based on the kind of outage you have. Systems, then people thought, like engineers, they came together, people like you came together they put in a plan, they found a pattern that these are the 80% case, Pareto principle. 80% of the times, these are the reasons why systems goes down. They got this data, they wrote auto or self-healing systems, which ideally is the AI ops piece. Self-healing systems understand there is an outage, they will do that fix automatically when the alert is generated. You have your Grafanas, you have your Neuralix, which always monitor your system. That is what you're talking about, monitoring and observability of any enterprise system. Even that is a good opportunity for you to pursue. People who are looking into even cybersecurity, you will have a lot of contributions to make there, because all the systems out there are connected to the net and there is always a threat out there. Someone is trying to hack into your system. So all these tools are used to monitor such things. Akamai is one. So these systems identify the threat. For a human to decode, to understand it, it takes 1 hour, 2 hours. When you have your data, you have your logs present, these systems, the ones that we just mentioned, pick it up in split seconds. So you know what the problem is. The customer has not yet known the problem. So in a split second, you have the error message, you have your runbooks or your playlist, which ideally is your AI ops piece, where it picks the right, because of your mature LLMs, it identifies what is the best fix. There is a human in between that is just for the sake of it, but the human in between, they decide, yeah, implement this. So in the third second, the fix is applied onto your cloud system, meaning a 4-hour delay is replaced with a 2 or 3 minute, maximum 5 minutes solution. The moment that customer gets an error message, the fix has already been applied. So that is not a fiction. This is something that has happened 2 years back. So where do you get in as a piece of learning that you have done? Where do you get in to the industry? You cannot get in as an IT ops engineer. What you need to learn is the automation that happens at the back. You need to be looking into creating private LLMs or SLMs. That is where your basics has to be clear, and that is what ICT does for you. You're getting a launch pad. Use it. Go launch yourself into the industry. If you're waiting the industry to come to you, the industry will pick the next available tool to do it, not the person to do it. So that is what we are trying to cover within the ethics space. That if you put all the tools into place and no people there, what is the ethical or the morality of adoption of AI? So we are trying to bring in a lot of frameworks, but in the capitalistic world, unfortunately, that we live, it's money that drives. So you make your money as early as possible, get your job, but underlying fact is that make sure that you know your basics and you know how to use the tool and not the tool itself. Thank you.
Thank you for that interesting viewpoint. Now, I think we can continue with the next question from your side as well, then we can come this way. So this is not directly a tech question, but it's regarding the importance of inclusivity and mentorship in preparing the next generation of tech leaders.
Sure. Given the times of Donald Trump, you know, what is happening with Trump? Any idea? He says one thing today, the next thing other day. What is really happening? Is that anyway connected to the tech industry? Any wild thoughts? Unofficially, this company that is next to Parks and the Oracle, they have got a circular out just to be given that X number of people from India has to be let go. So in this world where we are trying to, there was a phase where we are talking about inclusion. Then there was a space where we are talking about inclusion with human plus machines. Now there is a different way of trying to be inclusive. When I say inclusion, it's about getting the new generation their due, rather than taking away everything that is there and then giving it to the machines to do it, and only select few takes benefit out of it, what will happen to the entire economy? So inclusion is definitely a question which is being or trying to be addressed at the moment. What we are looking at as inclusion is the inclusivity of people across nationality, across, say, there is a lot of issues that we're facing with Canada or US. You take any other country for that matter. So that angle, inclusion, the industry is trying to be very inclusive. Unfortunately, there are political undercurrents that makes the scene otherwise. But otherwise, yeah, we are talking, if these are addressed, then the next thing is how to be inclusive with going hand in hand with the AI or the robotics or the machines that are coming in future, and the current human workforce to be maintained as such. So that's one part of it. And then the second part of the question?
It's about mentorship in preparing next generation.
So mentorship, irrespective, you need to have a mentor to be where you are. And I think using AI tools as a mentor is a growing fashion right now. I wouldn't discourage that. But the models itself, now there is a paradox that we came across. Teachers are creating the questions from your models. The children are answering it from the model. Now the paradox is that right? Who says that it is right? Come there a point in time where the system generates a bogus question, and from the other side it gives a faulty answer. Everyone says it is right and it becomes right. So that kind of an issue is heavily on the rise. The systems, LLMs and their biases are questioned. That is where a human mentor and the need of a real mentor becomes the need, and that has to be happening in a very systematic way. Now we are all disconnected from this young generation where, sir, I'm just 2025, but still we in a way are disconnected from the younger generation, not being able to mentor. So we have deliberately taken this time out so that we come back and give to, say, people who are willing to learn that kind of an information which is due to you. It is nothing that we are giving out of charity, but make sure that you are, like Madam was telling, make sure that you get into those groups, ask people where you can be helped or where they can be helped with your expertise. So that give and take is very much needed, and that is the way that a sustained growth can happen.
Thank you, Binish, for the wonderful answer. Now, talking about inclusivity, I think we can pivot to the next question, like how platforms like WIIT and internal communities of practice are going to open doors for women and underrepresented groups.
Yeah, so thanks for that again. Again, talking about WIIT, it is just one such NGO or a forum. But why do we need such forums is the first question. Yeah, so we talk about, as we say, inclusivity, no bias, then why do we still need women to be supported in different angles? This is a very controversial question, but maybe out of experience, what I would put forward is it's a lot about conditioning. Yeah, so many of us, so in this case, if we talk about enabling women, it cannot happen alone. We need all the genders together to rise. Yeah, so there's a lot of conditioning that happens, especially maybe I would say in a state like ours. Now we are a lot bound by culture, and we all try to save our faces, or no, we have the societal status. There's a lot of, that's what I'm telling, coming back to conditioning. So I would say when we talk about enabling women, WIIT has had its own learning, and we have come up with different programs. One such as the ALP, or Accelerated Leadership Program for Women in IT and IT enabled services. So why again this is what we see the trend is, just like all youngsters who are here, when we all start our career, our proportions are almost at par. as you go higher in your ladder, you would also notice, the crowd, especially the women crowd drops. When it goes to sea level, you would know if you talk about, if you just take the CEOs of different companies, it's countable how many are in the women leadership. So what is happening in this journey? So as I mentioned, there are some responsibilities coming up, and I would say those responsibilities shouldn't become a reason for you quitting your career. So that's what in WIT, as a platform, what we do is in the ALP program, it's a 6-month stretch program, where we have little bit of everything what a leader should be doing, something about finance and about leadership. There is a mentoring program where most of the mentors are the C-level members. Like we have Vijay Raghavan sir as one of our mentors. So these are people who help you understand that there are workarounds. Just like we were having the conversation. Say, I'm not sure how many of you know there is a childcare center, CC Hub, here at Technopark. So it is a daycare center. Again, it's part of WIT. Now, why do we have this daycare center? So it's like when women come back from their maternity break. Especially, definitely there is an emotional connect. So here there is a daycare within the space so that they can visit their child and they can be connected when you are at your workplace also. So that means you don't have to quit a career because you're blessed as a mother. Yeah, when you're blessed as a mother, it's for the entire family. Okay, so there are different workarounds, and when you say that you have to manage your family, your children, there is a lot of shouldering from the spouse. And now, if you notice, we have this work from home options like that. So at WIT, I would say we have this leadership program to give that awareness that there are workarounds, and you don't have to quit your passion or your career. And the leadership, definitely, I think most of us will agree. When there is a mix of both the genders in the leadership, there is a lot of things that get sorted. You find in different emotional angle and in the technology angle. So it's always good to have such crowd in the every arena, I would say. So in WIT we have different programs. So one is we have the CC Hub. We have this leadership program that is company sponsored most of the cases, and there is a lot of peer learning, and we also tie up with the government for KKEM, getting 10,000 women back to work. And it's nice to see that a lot of leaders are collaborating. So as I told, it's a non-profit organization, but everybody is doing a giving back there. So that's how it's helping WIT.
Thank you, Surya, for the insightful answer. Now, moving to Pantabi, if you would like to add anything to the same question, you are welcome on the same topic, or we can move to emerging opportunities in HR analytics, talent management, and change leadership.
Maybe there is a point I will add on the inclusivity and diversity, right? Just a question to the group. How do you define inclusion? How do you define diversity? So this is a question that is very relevant for each one of you when you go back to working in companies, right? Or in societies or in initiatives like WIT, right? So what is inclusion? What is diversity? Take a guess. You can be completely wrong. That's fine. It took us some time to understand the difference, right? Still learning, yes. Anyone? Any takers? Anyone who would like to attempt?
I think they are too afraid of being wrong.
Oh, okay. So let me give a very simple example, right? Now this example is coming from the learning head of Netflix. I forgot her name. One of the most beautiful definitions I've come across on inclusion and diversity. Diversity is when you call someone to the dance party, right? You can call everyone. It can be your friends, it can be people working with you, men, women, your own family. That is diversity. You're bringing diverse people, right? Now, diversity alone will not yield results. So what she has to say is, diversity is bringing people to the party. Inclusion is inviting people to dance. So when you're inviting someone, you're giving that personal connect. So diversity needs to go with inclusion. And for inclusion to happen, diversity needs to be there. These two cannot be approached separately. So when you are getting to manage teams, when you're getting to speak with your clients, or when you're getting to leadership roles, always remember this point: diversity and inclusion, they go hand in hand. Hiring more diverse people into the company alone is not enough. How are you making them feel included in the workplace? By giving them meaningful assignments. That is inclusion, right? So these two are very critical to understand. I thought since you're going to be future leaders, this is very important for you to have this clarity. Yeah.
It was very interesting. Now, moving on to the emerging opportunities in HR analytics, talent management, and change leadership. Sure.
So before I answer this question, this is one of the one of the things that I heard from one of my McKinsey MDs. I really love whatever the statements he says. One such famous statement he said is, anyone can make things complex. You need very high levels of specialization to make things simple. And I didn't understand this first. What he has to say is, if you do not know something, you will obviously make things complex. But if you have options, if you know something very well, it's like you're finding a way from here to your place, native. If you know only one route, that is, and if that route is blocked, your problem is complex. But if in case you know more, then you have alternate routes, right? And that is what he meant. So to answer this question, there are two things I would like to touch upon. Let's, for a moment, keep away all the emerging technologies. No matter how the technologies change, world change, there are few things that's going to remain as is. And with our work with our companies, what we see is there are two things that still we struggle with, and which you all at some stage will get into that point. One, this is about empathy. So what they have found out in the last 20 years is empathy is about understanding others. The empathy levels have come down by 40% in the last 20 years due to mobile usage, tablets and everything, right? What this means for us all when we go back to the industry is that when you're sitting across the table trying to understand the client requirement, how much do we capture that requirement? All these AI applications is a second, third stage. Did I understand the requirement, both said requirement, unsaid requirement, both? Because not every time people are going to give me 10 requirements and this is all it is. As you start doing the project, things will keep changing. So, and that's what the project statistics say. Globally, only 30% projects succeed, and you all will get into some projects at some stage. And the primary reason for that failure, what they found out is requirements not being captured accurately at the beginning. So one thing you may have to do is you need to visualize yourself in the client's shoes. One of the companies that we work with, there's a mid-product company based in Sri Lanka. The CEO just had one requirement to us. See, my team members are 5-6 years experienced. They are ERP specialists. The person sitting on the other side, they are in that industry, 25-30 years experience. They are like experts. In that 30 minutes that they are giving to us, how do I give that confidence to my client that my person can understand your requirement fully, two, can give solutions for your requirement? If you have done this, you got the deal, right? Just imagine, these are foundational things, the fundamental things. Understand the problem completely. That's the number one point. You need a lot of empathy. You need to travel with your client. Second thing, it is just not sufficient to solve the problem. What value am I creating there? That is beyond the problem. Example, let's say you're going to a restaurant. Let's say there is a husband, wife, and kid going there. Why do we go to the restaurant? To eat a good food. Now that is a problem. However, let's say the kid is very troublesome. The kid needs to be taken care. They are not going to tell us this problem. But as a restaurant person, if I'm able to take care of that kid and make that couple to have a peaceful lunch, then I'm getting a value. So problem solving alone is not sufficient. You need to back it up with value. And one of the recent examples of that, when I was speaking to one of the persons in the IT industry, is that now AI is helping them with coding. So what is happening with that is, earlier projects will take 6 months. I can bill for 6 months. Now I cannot, because they know very well AI is giving you coding. So you need to complete in 2-3 months. Straight away my 3 months billing is gone. Now if I need to make that 3 months billing, then I need to do something beyond what AI does. That's where the value creation comes in. So problem solving is one that is very critical. Understand the problem completely from the client lens. And second, go for value creation. Apart from it, now comes the third part, which is about the analytics and all that. Again, the same logic holds good. Focus on the foundationals. One of the things I found out with analytics is that this is globally, the maximum time analytics teams spend on analytics is that, can you guess which area? They spend 35% of the time on this area, on analytics. Any analytics teams globally. Can you guess which area they spend the maximum time?
I cannot.
Take a guess. Data cleanup, which means data is still not usable to even do analysis, then only analytics, right? So the foundation again. That's where you need to focus a lot on the foundation, the fundamentals, problem solving, value creation, and then all these emerging technologies will be like the next step. But if you miss out this foundation, you cannot leverage on the technology. So that's my take on this question.
Very insightful. Thank you. So I think we, on the time front, we are a bit delayed, but we will move to our next segment. And I think we have Pattabi available for, I think, till 4:15, right? So let's begin with you on segment 3, which will be navigating challenges and building the right skill set in the AI-driven world. So here, from our HR and leadership lens, our first question will be the common challenges that graduates face while entering the workforce, the mindset gaps, adaptability, and professionalism. If you may comment on that.
Okay. So I think if the question is about someone who is entering the industry for the first time, right, and how you navigate those challenges. See, the first 2-3 years is like a foundation. It's very critical. And this again, I'm talking from my experience. One is the skills, some of the behaviors that you need to exhibit and start inculcating. Be very, 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 very keen to learn, right? Your learning doesn't stop, especially in the first 3 years. It is so critical. Why? Because the environment is new to you. And you're learning everything new, your relationships with people in the workplace, technology, the work, and you need to show the right intent that you're willing to learn. Now, why I say this is, let's say someone doesn't show an intent to learn. You might think, okay, what is at stake? I'm still having a job. But always remember, people around you will be able to observe that, right? Now, how this impacts us is that, let's say when we are trying to progress in our career, right? Let's say the next move. At that point, some of these inputs could come back to us. And this, I say, is very critical. If you can focus on this one thing, your keenness to learn, keep your ears open. Even if someone is saying something which is against what you're thinking, don't worry. Just travel with them, understand them fully. Just focus on this one aspect. And if you take care of this, rest of the things will fall in place. You will start understanding the client requirements more, right? You will start listening to the team more. And that's where the listening journey actually starts. Yeah.
Thank you. So connected to that, we will also talk about the importance of emotional intelligence, trust building, and resilience alongside technical expertise.
So maybe I'll take a bit on the emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence here? Any guesses? What is an emotional intelligence? If you're emotionally intelligent, what does it mean?
Empathy.
Empathy? Or one more thing to add there, I leave my personal choices behind me, personal biases behind me. I'm able to look at the situation neutrally, which means if someone hurts me, I don't take that hurt personally. Personally, me as a person is not important. That job. So one of the things on emotional intelligence is, are you focusing on the solution to the end client? And if that means, that solution means I need to give up my thinking, whatever I know, because that solution means I need to change my perspective. How willing are you to do that? So in a simple term, if I were to look at emotional intelligence is, how can you give control on yourself? When I say control, not self-control. Right? Thinking that I know everything, that I am right all the time, right? And only I can be right in a room. If you can give off these, and this is connected to the earlier point that I said, be open to learn. When you do that, then when someone says something against your point, you won't take it personally. Then there is no need for us to manage the emotions there. We are already emotionally balanced, right? So that is one thing I would strongly reiterate. The second thing, there is something called as an emergent skill, which is so important. I tell you in the context of some of the statistics that we are seeing. The estimate is that by 2030, 60% of the roles globally will go unfilled. What that means is, we won't have people with prior qualification or expertise for a certain 60% of the roles. That's the pace at which technology is changing. Now, if you need to travel through this space, remember this, 60% of the roles we are not going to get people with prior experience. What that means is you should not get scared by that. What it means is anyone who is getting to those 60% roles need to learn after getting into the role. This is where your openness to learning becomes very important. So any new situation, don't worry. Just go in. Take the support of people around you, your managers, your friends, your peers. The objective is, can you learn 5% every day, 2% every day? That should be your target. This is the second thing that will make you resilient. It will also make you emotionally intelligent. It will also help your career and to navigate all the disturbance that's happening around us. Right. So those are my two things there.
Thank you, Pattabi. Now, moving to the learning and development lens, the question that I would put to you would be identifying the skill gaps early and bridging them through structured L&D interventions. Your comments on that, please.
Yeah, okay. So when we say that identifying the gaps early, so the question is how early? So where are you right now is one question. Yeah, so which stage of your career or which stage of your life milestone you are is a question. So if you can identify today, it's the best than just parking it for tomorrow. Yeah. For that, before that, I would really thank Pattabiraman sir for mentioning all those, the key areas, what you mentioned about this emotional intelligence really matters. So I would say again, coming back to my topic, what is mentioned as a skill gaps. Okay. So how will you get to know that you have some gaps? Okay. So this is where something like a mentorship will help you. Okay. When I say mentors, these are not formally, some place you register and you get mentors. You have mentors around you. Definitely, you will have people in your family, whom you will discuss a lot of your own learnings and things like that. If you don't have, please search. There are a lot of people in your own close circles. Okay, and make that first mistake at the earliest. If you are shy, to break some biases in your mind that if you feel that you're not tech savvy, why do you feel so? If you feel that I am learning this but actually I don't know, speak it out. So once you find people reflecting back to you, so that's when that clutter, there is a lot of clarity that comes to you, just like we told the data cleansing side. You should first understand, talk to yourself or spend some me time to understand, because most of you, definitely all of you have completed your graduation. You are at the next level. Yeah. A lot of pressure, there is a lot of societal pressure, then a lot of passions that is driving you. So please first find your mentors or maybe have your own close circles where you talk about whatever you're doing right now, what are your dreams, and get that clutter off. Okay, so that you really understand where are the few gaps where I need to work upon. Okay, another is, as I mentioned earlier, be part of some or the other groups. As I told, if you want to get into a technology role, when you're part of certain groups, stay silent. Just watch what are the conversations happening, what is trending, where am I? And definitely, as this technology is roaring ahead, there are a lot of platforms where you can explore and learn. There are a lot of YouTube contents. I think Instagram, I'm not sure how many learning contents are there, but still LinkedIn is another platform. I'm not sure how many of you know about LinkedIn Learning. I think most of the students
They all
will
are
be
on
having.
LinkedIn Learning.
Yeah. Can anybody tell me how many courses are there on LinkedIn Learning platform? Yeah. More than 10,000 courses are there. How many do you need to upskill yourself? Right? So first is self-analysis needed. Connect with like-minded people to understand what are your goals, where you want to navigate. Make some silly mistakes. Always you would know that these mistakes are a lot of learnings. Only thing, don't repeat those learnings. Don't repeat those mistakes, but take the learnings. Okay? So I think I'm coming to that skill gaps. And if you have identified where you have to upskill, there are a lot of platforms where you can, on a paid mode or a non-unpaid mode, you can do that. But identifying the gaps is something important. Here, I would recommend internships. Yeah. Now, it's nice to see that in this curriculum, I think definitely in my era, we didn't have this concept of internship. We just used to have a final year project. And no, that was also not with much interaction, a lot of formalities. Now it's nice to see, I think from first semester, most of these curriculum will have internship. Irrespective of the age, you are open for internship. So this is a time, no, you actually get exposed and test yourself where you are. Okay, so please do that. Volunteer. There are a lot of places where you can volunteer for that. And I don't know how many of you, if I ask you very openly, has anybody taken tuitions of the subjects you have learned? Have you tried? At least for some pocket money?
Okay, taking tuitions.
There are people who take tuitions, right? Yeah, great. So this is something when you learn best when you teach somebody. The moment I feel I have to tell somebody, I'll think twice. Yeah. So that's what I'm telling. If you want to fill those gaps, first step is identify the gaps. If you need help, you need to reach out. Okay. So that's what I'm telling. The forums, networking, internships. These are different. I'm sure there are lot of internships all around, and in Technopark also almost all the companies are welcoming internships. Let me tell you from the corporate angle or from the industry angle, we always welcome interns because they come with new ideas and they don't have this fear of failing. So somebody working in a project makes a mistake. It's something a huge thing which goes with a cost. But when interns come, we always look for new ideas. People who are thinking out of the box, and we also do this internship in HR side, in technology side. We last time we had a bunch coming in, and we had done a webinar, and it was nice to see the AI side of it, the creative side of it, and we just left to them. So please understand, this internships are very open and welcoming. Only thing you will have to reach out. So this is one way to fill the gaps and identifying the gaps. That's the first thing. Yeah, and I'm not sure in ICT do we have mentors as such, or they reach out to the trainers?
It's the trainers themselves act as mentors, like they
Mentors.
can reach out at any time using the Discord groups. So it's there in the offline sessions as well as there are online groups as well.
Yeah, please utilize that because most of us are coming with so much of experience. We also started one day, right? Yeah, that's about the skill gaps, I would say.
Thank you, Surya. I think you answered both the questions regarding skill gaps as well as role of mentorship and peer learning as well as groups. So now moving on to Binish, I think we are circling back to the same topic, like what are the skills required today to thrive in the era of AI-driven tech, DevOps, SRE, clouds architecture, and AI ethics.
So I think that's where we started talking about the basics. How many of you are confident that you can crack, say, 99 marks in 6th standard maths? Show of hands. 6th standard mathematics. Even that, I do not have a full house. Half hands, please.
Do we need to repeat the question?
6th standard mathematics. See, your confidence on analytics, critical reasoning, and the mindset of being curious. Because every day you have a new technology coming in. Every day. Earlier, when we were talking about the enterprise softwares, the lifetime for .NET was 20 years. You take a certification or you get a job, learn on the job, do .NET, you are having a stable career of 20 years. That diminished with PHP, that diminished again with C# and then Python. Now people are not talking about programming language at all. People are talking about plugging in with APIs. Because your programs are already there, your ERP is out there, your enterprise apps are there. Then we came talking about data. We talked about the behemoth, say, NoSQLs and then the data mining part. What we did was we cleansed, we learned, we put people, threw people onto the data, got the data cleansed. And then we talk about AI, because only on valid data you can build these models. And that is also there. What is next? That is where you need to think about the 60% gap that Patavi was talking about. Every day is an opportunity, provided we look at it that way. AI was never there in practice, say probably 5 years back. It has opened up immense opportunities, not for coders, because the moment I have a very detailed system requirement documentation, which the 20-year experienced guy sitting across the table can give me, and if he can note it down in simple English, you put it onto a Jira which is integrated to Copilot, which immediately writes your code by checking the regression, by checking all the security check gates, give you a build in less than half an hour, which typically is a 3-year ERP implementation project. So that focus on coders driving economy is gone. So what is it in it for you as new entrants into the market? Your skill being very sharp on your analytical skills, knowing the basics. If some code is given, and how many of you have given a wrong prompt and you have seen some weird outcome coming in Nano Banana, or even ChatGPT for that matter, Perplexity, you name it, you have got wrong results, right?
I've seen it.
You've seen it. Why? Because your prompt was wrong. You copy paste the prompt that was given by all these engineers, paste it, and you put your say whatever is your parameters, you get better or even at par with the quality that you've seen in the ads. Why is that? Because when you started, you didn't do it right. You need to be aware that there are opportunities which you can, and I am learning AI the same way you are learning it today, because the technology never existed yesterday. My 20 years of experience will only add to the basics. Be very, very clear about it. And I'm telling that with conviction, and that's why I brought the point. I switched my career from being a project manager / delivery head to being it was a grind that I went through, but it paid off. Because you need to be knowing what you know. You need to be sure about yourself. You cannot otherwise grow, and the industry is so demanding at the moment. If they ask you one question, given the world's knowledge in your hand, you should be able to give 10 answers. That is the kind of conviction, that is the kind of learning, that is the kind of usage of tools. You need not have the knowledge, but what tool to use to get you the answer, get you where you want to go. If you want to go to your hometown and then you're going south, it does not make any sense. You need to know your direction, where you want to be. Technology is just another enabler. You're getting it. Let it sink in. You and me are equal experienced in today's market. Across anyone in the table, please feel free to disagree in case. Because the technology just came. Anyone picking it up is as good as, but the point is about picking it up. So all the things that we just mentioned, site reliability, it was 2 years back. Now site reliability has nothing to do. It's all about AI ops plus say automation. Extreme automation is what we are seeing today. So that is where it's all dependent on you, from where you pick up, your confidence, your analytical mind, and where you really want to be.
Thank you, Binish. Now on to the last question to you. Like it's a different question. Like in a high trust industry, like BFSI and fintech, how balanced should you think inclusivity and innovation be in?
We normally talk about BFSI or banking to be the last adopters of change, and that was very true. When you talked about blockchain disruptive technologies, the adoption was very low, but it flipped, because if you're not in the race, you're lost. Earlier, if you look at innovations, innovation used to come from either Oracle, Microsoft, Google's of the time, Java. But right now, three people come together. If there is no language that address their needs, they are building their own languages. That's how Python's library is so strong today. So that kind of knowledge you can put back. Why? Because you are able to tap into that kind of repositories where you get offhand information. So coming to the question, you are the one who decide where you really want to be when it comes to, say, inclusion in the industry. You name it across. Say in the time of, I think we touched upon that point. Inclusion, be it gender, please be very clear, gender has no role to play. In my career of, say, 22 years, it never came across that I looked at a person and then said, you are so and so, just because of that we are not able to take you. Be very sure you are able to communicate that you, whatever you have in mind. Your language is your, say, CV. Other person sitting across will never know who you are if you are not able to express yourself. You need to be able to communicate, and that seemingly is one of the challenges that they normally talk about candidates from Kerala. So that is a no. Even if you don't have a good technical background and your language is good, that is an open door. So be very clear, gender is not a limiting factor. Your ethnicity, from where you are, these are all nothing but your attitude, the way that you're looking at where you want to be, that's what matters.
Thank you, Binish. Now we will be moving on to Q&A section, and before that, if you have any message for the participants, like anything we didn't touch upon during our discussion, you are welcome. Thank you, Pattabi. So. So I think we can have the group photo right now as well.
Sorry to disturb your flow.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, so we have one question coming from. You can start by introducing yourself, and then you can ask us question.
Hello, sir. My name is Rohit. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah, Rohit.
Sir, I am one of the trainees of cybersecurity batch. So, as Nisha mentioned earlier, sir, could you just brief on that topic where AI tools can be our mentor?
Hi. So, think about having the world's knowledge being given to you. So the entire, if you've seen deep search or even in Google, if you say get into the deep search mode, the kind of response that it gives is so condensed, and you say you give it to me in, say, 2 sentences. The kind of condensation that it does, that's where we revert back to the previous Pattabi's statement. To make things complex, it's easy, but to get the essence of it, I think it was Socrates who ideally said that. That's the most complex part, to give that essence, and that's what these systems do. My personal experiences with all these systems out there, when during COVID times, we could see all the children, and probably you are all in schools or colleges while COVID was happening, right? We were part of, say, online classes, right? Did you enjoy that? You enjoyed because you were playing. Is that what? Because I'd say my experiences when this online classes were on the high, people were royally having a lot of network games, and I think that's the Minecraft era. Minecraft got into prominence just because of all of you, where you had a side channel and Discord was driving the entire discussion, and then a teacher was taking probably a Zoom or a Teams class. I think it was Zoom then. So then the teacher knows that they have lost the crowd on the children. They would immediately ask a question. But these answers they were getting from the children were so precise and clean. And I was checking why. Because they were using YouTube videos from MIT professors. 2-minute videos. Search for 2-minute videos on any topic. So the teacher spends 40 minutes to convey even at a base of whatever it is, the topic is. And the children, they knew it in 2 minutes because they were listening to the best of the people out there. Now the same thing applies when it comes to mentorship. Now the point is, you need to know what to ask. On the mentoring part, if you keep on asking the same kind of question on which you are brought in, as in the kind of expertise you have, that is when you will get limited by what your questions are. And that applies to any research. Yeah, when you talk about, if you read all the GANs out there, you are as good as your questions. So think beyond what you want, get an understanding of what is out there and post that questions, because all the latest postulates, including quantum computing and mechanics, co-founded by all these GPT models, and they are asking for royalty on that. Think about it. That's where we'll use it. So definitely use it, but with the caveat that you need to know what you are hunting for. But then it gives you a gold mine of information.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rohit. So would that be the lone question of this Q&A session?
Okay, can I prompt with some questions?
Sure, sure.
Okay, I think there are members who have completed their learnings, or it's like
Yeah, they are
diploma,
in the
diploma.
advanced stages of their learning phases. Most of them have completed 70 to 80%.
Okay, just wanted to know how many of you have attempted interviews? How many of you faced interviews?
So that I can see some smiling faces, but yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you feel an interview is? Is it fun, or your adrenaline goes, you get tensed? Does the term interview scare you? Yes? Yeah, but that is a bridge for a new world for you, right? But can somebody still slightly drill into what does the word interview mean? Right now we are having an interview.
Yeah.
If
You
I
can say
just
that.
pause and say, interview. If you just simplify it, we want to know each other's view regarding some concept we are talking. Yeah. Again, when I talk from an HR side, today also we had a discussion at office. We have a lot of freshers coming in. Trained freshers are waiting in pipeline. There is a lot of gap. We need people. Projects are waiting. Then what is that gap? Why are we not able to take when there are people waiting? Project is waiting, people are waiting. So what is that gap? Right? So that's when this interview comes in picture. So suppose I am here to interview you. So that's a question WHY. So why does interviews happen? Because there is some requirements. So you would have seen JD, right? Job descriptions. Whenever you see a JD, you read through that, right? So sincerely from the HR end, when we put out JDs, we are badly looking for, very, what you say, we really need people who can actually take up these responsibilities, what is there in the document. Now, when you read those documents, I'm not sure how many of you are actually reading through and trying to relate it to your skills or your resume. There is a gap there. As soon as we finish our graduation, there is a lot of pressure around in the sense, do you have a job? When are you getting into a job? A lot of things come into. Okay. So let me tell you, it may be a very generic term, but I'm just including few things over there. When you see there are openings in any organization, when you see a JD, please be very genuine. Everybody understands that no financial freedom or a job is important. But see how much genuine your profile matches with the JD. Okay? And if you feel it is not my kind, okay, please don't waste your time on that. Look for profiles or JDs which actually sync in with your profile, your taste. Why I'm telling it here is we have seen freshers who clear the technical round, HR round, and who join the organization, and then in hardly few weeks time or 1 month's time they realize that this is not their core. At times we realize from both the end. Yeah. So again the pressure is more. You've already got a job. You're not able to do. You're not able to enjoy. When you don't enjoy, what happens? There is a lot of frustration. That's what generally we call as a stress. Yeah. So please understand when you're looking out for jobs, look for JDs that match your profiles. And when you get an opportunity to attend the interview, please understand you're sharing your view and whoever is on the other side is sharing their view. So if I say that I need a say Python developer with 2 years of experience, because back of my mind I know what is the project, what is the situation out there. Yeah. And when you say that I do not have 2 years of experience, I hardly have 1 year of experience, but these are the things I have done. These are the areas I have failed. No, I tried developing this software or this solution, and this is where I was stuck. The more genuine you are, no, I get a confidence. Yeah, this person has reached till here. I don't need 2 years from you. I get a confidence. Getting my point? So when you're attending the interviews, please be genuine to yourself. And at that moment, please be clear that somebody on the other side needs some skill set, and I am sharing what I have and till what extent I can go. Because there you're telling that don't have high expectations from me as a candidate. Okay? And when you're applying for jobs, don't you feel good that you have 5 offers and you're going to choose one? Yeah, so you are on demand. Right now, I'm not sure what is the situation. So generally, it is like whenever there is a job opening coming up, whenever there is a walk-in, majority of us rush into it. Why don't you think the other way around? No, I have these skill sets, and it is very valuable. I cannot just give it to somebody. Now I need to hunt and figure out which logo, which industry will best suit me. Because you all are skilled. Hope you're getting my point. Yeah? So it's not like one job. So that's what I'm telling. What if when you have 5 offers and you choose one? That's when you value it. Okay, so I just want to mention this interview part of it. Another thing is, when we talk about interview, communication is what actually comes at the front end. So unless you communicate what you know, technology side or whatever role you're applying, you might be 100% confident in that. For that, you need to communicate. And generally, if you are in an IT industry, the business language is English. We all have learned English in our schools and colleges. And we have got good marks, that's why we are here. Now, what is stopping us is we don't practice. The moment we are in our comfortable crowd, we use our mother tongue. That's quite natural. So what happens during interview is when you're talking, there is a mother tongue language influence. That's not a crime, it's natural. Yeah. So you need to polish your language. For that you have to practice and come over that influence. You have to reduce that influence into any foreign language. If I know Malayalam, the moment I learn Tamil, it's not easy for me to talk in a Tamilian slang. Same thing with English. And I'm not sure how many of us intentionally use the language English. So generally what I tell most of the students is, we all have smartphones, right? Have you tried recording your audio and listening to it? Has anybody tried that?
Now I think some people are even trying talking to Gemini, just
Yeah, that's good. So that's what I'm telling. That's what I'm telling. I think most of us are connecting that first you have to get to know yourself. Where are the gaps? Have this practice of daily talking this language. Just like you go to gym, you do exercises. Your tongue needs exercise to learn a new language. So either you have a small community, a group where you can shamelessly be yourself, otherwise use your smartphone devices or any other AI tools to talk and hear how does it reflect. And you can also talk like somebody who you really admire. No, I want to talk like this person. So when I'm not sure when you see advertisements, does anybody follow that and repeat it? Do you try doing that? It's actually fun if you do that. Different slangs. I'm telling you, it might be fun. It might sound very simple, but it's very heartening to see that many talents don't clear the interview just because they are not able to communicate in this foreign language or the simple language which we learn in schools. So that is one barrier. I think we should have, even in the academy, what I'm telling is
definitely.
we should have groups like a Friday evening or maybe weekly twice.
We have soft skill groups where we do all of these activities, like
Yeah.
even someone gets on stage and group activities, kids, and we even had mock interviews for these participants.
Right. Yeah. I mean that's what I'm telling. It's sad to see that many people miss that. So that communication is a big barrier.
So I hope they take upon this advice of yours and work upon it. And I think today, even not just English, even Japanese, Korean, all of these things, people are catching it up because of animes, mangas, and
Yeah.
so I think we can wrap up our Q&A session here. And thank you very much, both of you, and also Pattabi for the very insightful panel discussion. I really enjoyed it. I hope all of you had enjoyed it as well. So now I invite the anchors for the next phase, which would be, I think, mementos for the placed alumni.
That was truly insightful. A big round of applause for our panelist and moderator for sharing their expertise and wisdom.
Now comes a proud moment for ICTAK, honoring our alumni who have successfully secured placements and are making their mark in the industry.
We request our dignitaries to kindly present the mementos to our placed alumni. We would like to call upon stage Ms. Serena Mariam Saji, Data Science Offline Batch 6 participant. Next, I would like to call Ms. Nikita Matthew, Data Science Offline Batch 6 participant, to join us on stage. Congratulations to both of you on this milestone.
Before we move on to the vote of thanks, we have a small token of gratitude to the panelists. I would like to call Mr. Muraleedharan Manningal, CEO ICTAK, to do the honors. We welcome you, sir.
As we move towards the close of today's event, it's time to acknowledge and thank everyone who made this possible.
I now invite Mr. Roshan Wilson, full stack participant, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of ICT Academy of Kerala. First and foremost, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our keynote speaker, Mr. Muraleedharan Manningal, CEO of ICTAK, for his inspiring words and encouragement. A special thanks to our esteemed panelist, Mr. Pattabiraman MP, Ms. Surya Rani, and Mr. Binish Moulana for sharing their valuable insights and guiding us with their rich experience. We also sincerely thank our alumni for joining us today and making this event more meaningful with their presence. My appreciation also goes to Ms. Roshni R for warm welcome address, and to our MCs, Ms. Subarna US and Ms. Gobika Pardap, for hosting the event so gracefully. Finally, a warm thanks to all the participants, faculty, and team members who made today's AspireX a success. Over to you, Subarna. Thank you.
Thank you, Roshan, for your kind words of gratitude.
With that, we officially conclude today's AspireX, Inspiring Growth and Transformation.